Just wondered if you had any comment on recent news surrounding Kevin Lorena, who's lodged a complaint after the Dubois fight.
Yeah, not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot really, to be honest. It's hard for me to say because at the end of the fight, he felt like he was beaten. He knew obviously he walked into a great shot and he got finished. But it was at the end of the round, and obviously people are saying that the bell was rang like 7 or 8 seconds early on the first round as well. So no, I don't really have much of a comment. What I will say is that the 3 knockdown rule was not in effect in the UK. It's never been, hasn't been in effect in the UK in the last God knows how many years, ever since I've been going to rules meetings. So it was one of the things that come up in the I stipulate that it isn't in effect. Yeah, glad that Dan got through that first round, but at the same time, it wasn't his best round. It was heart in the mouth sort of stuff for me. But like if Kevin Lorena had got a 60-second rest, he still would have been finished. In my opinion, he was badly hurt. If you look at Dan Dubois, he got hit with one shot. The next two knockdowns weren't knockdowns. He took a knee. His leg wasn't working for him. He's got his knees really swollen out now. He's gone for a few scans. We still haven't got a full report back, but it looks like it could be a ligament damage. So the next two shots weren't really in play, like they didn't really hurt him or anything. Whereas Kevin Lorena got hit with about 8 unanswered punches, and he was out on his feet. So it was a big difference. But if Rodney Burney wants to lodge a complaint, then so be it. I'm sure the WBA and the BBSC will rule fairly.
As well as the complaint, Lorena's also said that he wants a rematch. Is that something that you and Daniel would be willing to give him, or have you moved on from Lorena now?
I mean, yeah, of course he can get a rematch. I mean, I feel like it's down to Frank Warren, the promoter, and and the TV networks really. I mean, like it was a good shot that he got caught with. He definitely wasn't expecting. I've never seen Daniel hurt, but he recovered well. He knew exactly what shot it was that landed, and I just believe if he boxes him again, I think he'll knock him out in a couple of rounds. I mean, it took him 3 rounds with one leg. You know what I mean? So what would it be like if he had, if he hadn't got dropped in the first? I don't think he'll get the success like he got in that first fight if they ever boxed again.
Finally, the cruiserweight division is a good one at the moment. Where do you believe Billam Smith ranks amongst his fellow Brits like Riakporhe and Okola?
Yes, I mean, like obviously been working with Okola for a good few years, and that I feel like styles make fights, and I think that Chris has the style to beat Gullamar, and he's got the style to beat Jay Optaya, and I think I think he's got the style to beat most of them. Richard Riakporhe, for instance, hasn't boxed at world level yet. He's got a good win, a split decision win over Chris. I feel like Chris nicked it, but once again, they've both got more experience since then. And but I think the level of competition that Chris has been at recently is higher. He's getting more momentum and he's learning all the time. And I think those two are on a good path. I feel like Lawrence obviously being world champion, you can't discredit that. He's already got there. So they're there or thereabouts, all of them.
Nice one. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Hi, Shane. Josh from Seconds Out. Just a couple more on Daniel. When did the injury exactly occur in the fight, and sort of how is he now? Is he in good spirits?
Yeah, he's in good spirits. He hyperextended his knee. I feel like if you, I've watched it, I've slowed it down, and you can see like when he got hit on the top of the head, he went to put his heel down and he hyperextended his knee. So 17 and a half stone going through a knee like that is never a good sign, but it immediately swelled up. We don't know the severity of the injury yet. Physio has done some strength tests and put it in certain positions, and it's definitely got weakness in areas, but whether that's a tear or anything like that, I'm not too sure. We're still waiting on the MRI results, so and a specialist to kind of review it. But yeah, I mean, it happened straight away. As soon as what was it? Probably about a minute left of the first round, maybe. So maybe a minute, just a bit more. So instantly his knee was gone.
Ligament injuries can sort of be long-term things. I know you've said you don't really know the severity of it at the moment. Is there any concern it could be a long-standing one and we won't see Daniel in the ring for a little bit?
No, not. I'm not too sure on that, to be honest. I mean, we've got a really good bunch of people that would be able to rehab it. We've got Kevin Lidlow, who's going to be reviewing it at the moment. We've got Ben Caraway as well, who we work with, two very good like specialists, as it were. So of course, ligaments are harder to repair because there's not blood flow to them, but you can build up the knee, you can build up the VMO and the little minor muscles around the knee to kind of give it stability. So I don't see it being a long layoff. No.
Okay. Cheers, Shane. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Shane, just on that fight, just got one question for you in regards to the Dubois win. Carl Frampton made some comments saying that you didn't have.
You're always after a headline. You're always after a headline. No comment. No comment. Okay. I feel like certain people have an agenda, and at the end of the day, that's as far as it goes.
Okay, fair enough. And a question on Chris. You've said a few times that Adam Azimi is the best fighter that you've ever trained. Where do you rank Chris Film-Smith with all the fighters that you've trained over the years?
A true professional, someone that's maximized every aspect of his game, and that we can't underplay his talent. He's at free, he's about to fight for a world title, so you can't get there with no talent. He's got plenty of talent. He's got great guts and determination and grit, and he's got a good ability to listen, and he's very coachable. So he's probably been one of my best students over the time I've been in as a coach. So and we've brushed up on certain aspects of his game. He's always had a great jab, but we taught him how to fight in close, and he's really taken to that well. Sometimes he likes to fight too much on the inside, but now it's at the stage where he's learned how to fight at distance. He can fight on the inside, but it's what I was really impressed with the last one is how he managed the rounds. Against the Riakporhe fight, he wasn't managing the rounds well. He was blowing out and he was putting too much into a specific round, and then he would go to sleep for the next one or two, and he was giving rounds away. Whereas now he's just got that experience, and I believe he'll be a world champion.
Thank you for that. And your headline.
Hi Shane, it's Oscar from Buzz News.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. This will be Chris's 18th professional bout. How different stylistically is Armand compared to Chris's other fights?
He's got a very fast right hand. He's a decent puncher. He hurt Masterneck, and Masterneck, had been in there with the likes of Tony Bellew, big punchers as well. So he's obviously got a lot of power, and it's quite an awkward style. He bounces on his toes and sort of springs in. So that's why we've had to get the likes of, as Chris said earlier, Sharif Musa. He's a good sparring partner. We actually had Boatsi. One person he didn't mention. We had some rounds of Boatsi as well. We've got Craig Richards and Chevron Clark. So we've had really good rounds. But it is going to be an awkward, jerky style, and he's got a fast right hand. So we're going to have to be aware, and I think he's going to have to break him down on the jab. But every fight at this level, or even before this level, poses a threat. You got a guy who's 14 stone 4, and by the time they walk in the ring, they're probably closer to 15 stone. So, they're generating power, and if you one mistake and it can be all the hard work over, really. So we got to stay switched on and get through next Saturday night.
You mentioned the fast right hand. I'm assuming that's what you like about his style. What threat? Have you been working on that in training to evade that sort of?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. It's one of the shots that it's hard to defend against as well. I mean, like it's hard to defend against the right hand. It's hard to slip it. Best thing to do is step back. But yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we've got. I mean, Craig Richards has got a really underrated right hand. So we've had today he sparred with Craig and Sharif. So we had the sort of the speedy right hand from Craig, and then we had the sort of height and intensity from Sharif. So he's going to be well prepared. much better prepared than he was against Chamberlain, as he mentioned before.
Yeah, and finally, Armen's slightly younger than Chris. Do you feel Chris's age and experience will be too much for his opponent?
Yeah, I mean, like Chris has got no miles on the clock. You know, he's 32, he's turned 32, but he's a fresh athlete as it was, and he lives the life. And I thought, you know, certain people peak at certain times in their life, and Chris is really coming into his own. He's really starting to peak. He's matured as a person as well. So, but I don't feel like age is going to be like a factor or like in Chris's favor or against him. It's just one of those things, really. I mean, like they're both fresh. They both haven't had many fights. So yeah, I think Ahmed's had like 14-2, I think it is. So 16 fights, and Chris has had 18. So both fresh, really, as it were.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Cheers, Shane.
Thank you.
Hi, Shane. You mentioned the styles for Chris that you think favour him, but as I was just speaking to him, that a couple of the titles look like they'll be off bounds for at least a year, so it really leaves only the WBC and WBA route. Just wonder if you've looked at the other top contenders to try and get a final eliminator to force it. How would you say see him against Dorticos, Badu Jack, maybe Mkunu, someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Badu Jack's not really in the position to be fighting up at cruiserweight. I think he's kind of at the end of his career. I don't see him fighting for a world title at cruiserweight. Whereas Dorcas, obviously, I mean, he's had quite a long layoff as well, so it's a very good fight. He's always given a fantastic account of himself, but you got Masterneck as well. That's up there as well. So I mean, we've got fights that we can take. That if Optay has got a voluntary on the next one, and he's pretty keen to come over to the UK. I'm sure. I think he fancies his chances against Chris. You know, his confidence is riding extremely high, just beating Marius Breda. So, I have a feeling we are going to be fighting for a world title in the next one. You know, like we got a 2-fight deal with Boxer, and we've stipulated that we want this world title fight. So, yeah, let's hope that we can get it made. But if nothing comes off, then you know it's got to be someone like a Masterneck. Masterneck's I think it's like 1 or 2 in the IBF as well, so really highly ranked. So yeah, we can either do box for a final eliminator.
And just on Daniel, a lot of pundits have said that the WBA title may now be an albatross around his neck, because if you look at the rankings, guys like Hunter, Bakoli, Makhmudov, they're all lining up, and they're wondering, is he ready for them?
Well, time will tell, won't it? I mean, the WBA, I mean, like there's got some good names in that ranking, but I mean, you know, Michael Hunter's got a great win over Martin Bakoli, but you know, there's miles on his clock, and I think, you know, I would love a big fight from like a Dylan White fight. I keep saying, I said it after the last one against Trevor Bryant, and we'll say it again. And that's maybe someone like Dylan looked at Daniel before, thinking that there was nothing really to gain from it. He's boxed Povetkin, AJ, Fury, you know, he's boxed those big names, but obviously Chisora a couple of times as well. So he might have looked at it as not a massive, not a massive reward if he'd have won. Whereas, yeah, he might look at him now thinking, you know, like in terms of before risk reward, whereas he might be looking now thinking, you know, that's a winnable fight for him. And hopefully he does, because, you know, we need a breakout fight like that. You know, you got those potential banana skins of Kevin Loreno. Like Kevin Loreno, he's got fast hands. He was looking great in the last year. He was in the best form of his career. You know, he knocked out Bogdan Danu, and he obviously dropped Marius Wack a few times. And there was nothing really to gain from that for us. And obviously he knocked him out and he won the fight. But yeah, we want something. We want recognition. If he does go in there from now on, we need to get the recognition. We need the name so that, you know, Daniel can excel his career.